Well, good morning. Here we are at the Ballater Gallery's viewing room in the heart of Aberdeen city centre. And I know I sometimes say this is exciting, this is wow, this is whatever. But how many of you have been waiting to see more paintings from the one and only Colin Fraser? Well, as you know, we've sold pretty much everything we've had from Colin. And at long last, we now have 6 incredible new egg tempera paintings. I'm standing here with my sleeves rolled up, ready to do business, and gosh, this gives me pleasure. And I'm going to move away because nobody wants to see me giving nobody pleasure, but they want to see these paintings by Colin Fraser giving you pleasure and want. So, what do we have here, Tom, as we start going around? The very first painting that we're going to show you is called Breeze. Colin has a habit of quoting in centimetres. He's terribly modern. He lives mainly in Sweden now. And Breeze, you can see why it's called Breeze, the way the scarf is blowing in the breeze with the flowers dangling from the vase and the vintage chair. It's 59 by 48 centimetres, and then you have, actually, Tom, if you could let the viewer look in at the frames. He's using a new style of frame, which is a distressed metal effect or silver on the frames. So that brings it up to probably about 75 by about, about 70 or 65 centimetres. Let's, Tom, move down to the bigger painting. This is, I feel, charming. It doesn't have the level of wind in the painting, but look at the ribbon. What's happened is somebody received a beautiful bouquet with these special tulips, put them in a vintage Lalique vase, and left the ribbon that they were tied in. I think it's absolutely beautiful, and it's 83 by 61 centimetres. I'm going to quote excluding frames, so roughly, if you're thinking where could it go in your home, add on 20 centimetres. As I say, I'm going to quote not including the frame. Moving up to the top, Tom. So I think this particular painting really, look at the vase. I don't know why I'm saying Lalique, but it's got the frostiness and the vintage Lalique. And maybe I'm also saying this because I happened to be at a Lalique restaurant last night. So this painting is called Sway. 61 deep by 80 centimetres wide. I think this is what you'd call classic Fraser, because the egg tempera gives this clarity and luminosity which Colin Fraser felt he could never achieve with oil or watercolour. And I'm sure plenty of you don't disagree what I say, but I think you'll have to disagree. Sorry, you have to agree, or you can't disagree, that this is utterly stunning. The distressed wood, the hazy glass, and the calmness of, I think, the roses and the tulips. Moving on, Tom, to the painting below. Do I have a favourite? I may have a favourite because I, as everybody knows, love a traditional still life. And here we have a painting called Wither. I rather like flowers as they might show a degree of withering. It's maybe the greenery rather than the actual, I think they're peonies, aren't they? And the cherries and the wonderful jug that's there as well. So this painting is 67 by 114 centimetres, or 67 centimetres by 1.14 metres. It is just class. No other word for it. And if you have a nice big space and a fantastic poke and pull kitchen with a dining space attached, or frankly a white, I just feel it brings an element of colour and continuity to a relatively understated room. So go to the top, please, Tom. And we have the smallest, I think, of the paintings by Colin Fraser, but certainly not the less important of these paintings. This painting is called 33. Why is it called 33? I need to think about that. I think it's something to do with the denims that are laying drying on the table next to the lemon, next to the flowers. And look at the turquoise and the reds and the colours and I think it's a lemon or an apple. So 33, it's 32 by 55 centimetres. You know, this is a Colin Fraser, beautifully framed, fabulous painting, and this is under £5,000. It's 4,950. So, Tom, not last, but last but not least, this is, I suppose, the final of the Fraser paintings, and this one is the biggest, I think, or maybe not the biggest, but the tallest, and it's called San Remo. It's 122 centimetres by 80 centimetres, pre-framing. Look at the chair. I think maybe, I've been thinking the blue ribbon had something to do with the first bokeh. As I'm looking around more carefully now, I see the blue ribbons everywhere. But do you not think it looks like there has been a well-received happy bokeh and it's just been untied and the ribbon left? Maybe I'm talking nonsense, not for the first time. But Tom, everything about Colin Fraser's paintings, they just don't cease to surprise me. Look at the carpet, the degree of accuracy in the carpet. And again, because of his ability to paint with egg tempera, he gets the light. And moving up to the light in the jug, and the truly wonderful flowers as they're perhaps starting to wilt. I probably sound a bit over the top the way I'm yabbling on about these Colin Fraser paintings, but I truly love them. I hope you do. I have been to most of the houses where the people have already bought Colin Fraser's paintings, because Colin's only been with us for no more than a couple of years since, and as I say, he now lives in Sweden, and it's such a joy to have these sent over from the studio of Colin Fraser, and they're certainly making here, I'm looking at the sun still shining here in August, and they could radiate sunshine throughout the year wherever you put them. Colin Fraser, 6 new egg tempera paintings at the Ballater Gallery.